What's up, nerds? Welcome to Writer Gamer. My name's Kevin. I happen to be a writer and a gamer. And no, I'm not a part of the writer strike, just so we're all on the same page. I'm more of working on a few novels. I was inspired to write books at a young age because of this gentleman right here, R.L. Stine. Now, with that out of the way, I wanted to have a discussion in retrospect to the sports genre, modern sports games, electronic arts, and 2K. I think one of the biggest problems when it comes to electronic arts is that they want to release, this goes with NBA as well, 2K, is that they want to release a new game every year. I think that's the biggest problem with the sports genre currently, is they want to release a game every year. I objectively don't think they need to do that. Because even if we want to sit here and say that, well, you know, they updated the jerseys or something like that, that easily could be added in some kind of free update. You take note, I said free update and not some microtransactional, micro DLC, purchase it bullshit. A free update, which I don't think would happen because this is electronic arts. But hey, I guess we can all, dream. But this ultimately leads me to also the next question is that why is it that no other developer jumps into the sports genre? Now, yes, I know you're going to be saying, well, that's because, for example, Electronic Arts has a license, a contract with a lot of the other big companies, NFL, NHL, etc. 2K has a contract with the NBA, so nobody can make a, basketball game, which that objectively is an incorrect statement because they can make and develop a basketball game. It just can't have any relation to any of the teams or the name brand behind those teams. Like, I look at it as if I had a game development company, I would totally be on board on trying to give Electronic Arts and 2K a run for their money. And I think it could be successful within of itself. Because all you really have to do as a developer from the outside looking in at the complaints of what people have with the name branded sports genre, in the sense, for example, obviously like street hockey. That's going to be the name of my hockey series. Backyard football. There's the name of my backyard, my football game. Because these companies hold a license and trademarks to the teams and the NFL itself, but they don't hold a license or a branding or a patent on the game itself. And I'm kind of surprised that nobody actually, has thought of that and decided to jump into that aspect of the sports genre. Because, you can create your own fictional teams. It would just be, street hockey. You would set it up just like as if it was some big national thing that everybody watched. The only difference is that clearly it's not. Because we all know if we were to organize, what we call street hockey, it's nowhere near the organization of something like the NHL. But because it's a video game, it doesn't have to follow the reality of that. So we could set it up as if it's an actual thing, like another genre within sports that is recorded and aired live on TV. Your own fictional characters, your own fictional... This is editing writer gamer here. Just want to insert, apparently I had a brain fart during this part of the video. So I talked about, your own fictional players, and then I was trying to think of something else to say, and then I repeat myself. But what I meant to say is your own fictional players and your own fictional teams. There we go. And I'm sure there would be some kind of litigation, but I would also say that they could probably try to look at football players that are retired and see if they want to do some kind of deal with them to put their likeness within the game. Of course, not using their number, because that would, not really work out from an NFL or NBA point stand. But just, hey, here we have insert said name of some basketball player, and they're in our street hockey, our backyard baseball, etc., etc., etc. Because this is how I envision the game. Is that, one, not only does it have preset teams, a single player that you can play, and online, and even a co-op, but I envision this in the sense that I also allow the player to completely create their own new characters and create their own team. They can name the team. There isn't something really like some kind of generic choose these random logos that we've gotten, but some kind of generic little paint program that would be in the game that would allow players, create their own logos. Obviously following the rules that it could not be similar to any official logo or trademark of any corresponding team, obviously, for obvious reasons. And not only that, but then dive further into this in the sense that, hey, not only can you make your own entire team and play on the single player or take that entire team and play other players, you can literally go full on fucking network. So we take the total amount of players that is on each team, and that is the total amount of people that can be on the field at the same time. And every individual is a different position controlling a different character. So now we're expanding it so that every member of the team is controlled by a real player, and it's all of the team members working together in order to defeat the other team, whether that's a full AI team or a full human team. And of course, I'm not talking about in the sense that there's going to be some kind of thing like they choose to do this and then they have to wait to be connected to people, because I think that wouldn't be a good thing, because we would run into the issue that we run into in fighting games where people fight with the same character. You would end up with people who would want to be in the same position in, the various positions for these sports games. So basically it would be a communication thing. All of these people have the ability to communicate, and then they can all go to the actual game and connect to each other to then play and be connected. And that's ultimately how it would work. I don't know. I think that sounds like it would be entertaining to me, especially if the company didn't do any microtransactions or anything like that. They're like, we're going to go full on authentic. Because if you look at the history of Electronic Arts, Netflix actually has a documentary for the video game companies. They actually talk about Electronic Arts, why they started the company. And if you watch it, it is... well, let's just say Electronic Arts is far from what they used to be in relation to why they started it. It was all about creating a realistic sports game that people could enjoy, as opposed to what they're doing now, which is the complete opposite of why they started. I know it's a lot to take in. A lot of fantasy up in this brain here. I am a writer, I'm a creator, and I was just sitting there thinking that, and I thought, I don't see why other developers don't jump in on this. Because there's nothing saying that's going to prevent them from creating their own, backyard or street type game that could have all of the features that aren't patented or trademarked or anything of that nature by any of these major corporations. That's just one man's thoughts who don't really play a whole lot of sports games. So if you're an avid sports game player for video games, what are your thoughts on everything that I've talked about? Would you, if a game like that existed, for example, let's say a developer right here, right now, just threw out a trailer for a new football game, and it was going to be released on the same day as the new Madden game, and it had all of the features that you would want with none of the bullshit, which would you go for? Just out of curiosity. Like me, I'm not a real big sports player, but I'd go for, the backyard football or whatever they would call it.